And welcome back to PIX Politics. You know, the recent investigations into the NYPD and members of the mayor's inner circle, just too big a story for one segment and talking to the mayor. So I want to bring in now the PIX 11 team covering this very closely from every aspect. PIX 11 crime reporter, nobody like her, Nicole Johnson, here with me, and PIX 11 political reporter, nobody like him, Henry Rossoff. So great to have both of you here to talk more about this. And Henry, I want to begin with you right now because you just heard from the mayor right here, right? Surprising to hear him say that he does not know why there are these investigations specifically into his inner circle and into the NYPD. What were your takeaways from the conversation?
How steadfastly he stood by his staff, especially and including Commissioner Caban. I mean, the New York Post was out with that editorial just this morning that said, you know, is he being loyal to the point of a fault, and is that what's going to be costing him politically? I mean, look at the imagery of this panel right now, Dan. We've never had Nicole on PIX on Politics, and we have our ace criminal reporter here because we're talking about at least two very serious corruption investigations in the orbit of Mayor Adams. The imagery is not good, Nicole.
It is a big distraction.
Yeah.
You know, whenever the feds come knocking, it's never a good look.
Yeah. I mean, think about what the mayor said once before. He had said, when there's smoke, there's not always a fire, right? That was his quote to me when this first broke about the turkey, Nicole. But how do we know more information than him? Because you're hearing some things specifically about why the NYPD is being targeted.
Well, specifically the police commissioner, they're looking into his dealings with quality of life initiatives. What that means is, you know, contracts, permits, things with nightclubs, bars, restaurants. They want to see the relationship the NYPD has with those establishments, particularly the owners.
And the phone seizing, what kind of ramifications does it have for somebody like the police commissioner?
Well, first of all, they wouldn't take phones without probable cause.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about the police commissioner's cell phone information, NYPD information, information about the community, personal information.
Information about terrorism on that phone. Yeah. I mean, this is no small matter here.
But the question is, I guess, how do you know this information from your sources, but the mayor is steadfast in saying, no, I don't know? You know,
well, the mayor's loyal to a fault sometimes. Yes. We just have to see what happens.
I guess the question here for Henry, you heard about these calls for Caban to step down. Bob Holden has come out now and said he should step down, the city council member. He's somebody who's very in lockstep with the NYPD. Lincoln Ressler has come out and said, well, I don't really usually agree with the New York Post, but he should step down. So I guess, is it on Caban to do that?
It very well might be, especially if the mayor continues to express this loyalty. And what you might hear is allies of the mayor back-channeling to the commissioner saying, sir, he's being loyal to you in public, but it is time for you to step aside. So who knows if those conversations are taking place, but this is absolutely something that could be kind of happening on the backside of this.
And my sources are telling me you should not expect the police commissioner to step down, at least not at this point. It's preliminary, it's early in the investigation, he hasn't been charged with anything, he's not accused of any wrongdoing, he's not being questioned. So as far as stepping down, it's too early.
Yeah, I mean, I think the mayor has a point where he says, look, I have full confidence in everybody on my staff because everybody's innocent until proven guilty. The no distraction, good grind thing, it is a huge distraction for so many New Yorkers, right? And so I guess the question now is, Henry, you spoke to Governor Hochul today. What power does she have, if at all, to remove the mayor if it goes too far?
Yeah, let's lay out the law here first. Currently, the governor, for pretty much any reason, and you heard this talked about a little more when with former Governor Cuomo really didn't like Mayor de Blasio for some of the things he was doing, to suspend the mayor for 30 days. Once, or if, big if, the mayor's indicted, there's an additional power to begin a removal process. And that removal process says that the mayor would have a chance to defend himself, but the law is fairly vague. This was only almost attempted when FDR was the governor of New York and there was a corrupt mayor who ended up resigning before this could happen. So when I say we're in uncharted waters with that part of this, we really are. And the governor seemed to, when we pressed her on this on Long Island today, seemed to really not take any interest in really going down either of those roads, the suspension or the removal road.
Yeah, and I think it's important to point out that there are a few investigations. This is where it gets murky, right? There's the Turkey investigation with the mayor, and then there's the other investigation with those who has had their phones seized just this past week, including the what you were talking about with the nightclubs with the NYPD. The question is it too early to tell if the rank and file of the NYPD are now looking at this saying, well, that's our leader and we stand by him, or we don't stand by him?
Well, they're definitely standing by him as far as my sources are telling me. But remember, again, preliminary. I also know that the law department and the NYPD legal team, they were asked to search the emails of NYPD brass. So that's coming. Hasn't happened yet, but that's coming. So right now, the holes down at 1PP, everyone's talking about it, but no one's, leaning anyway because it's still too early.
Okay, well, I don't think this story is going anywhere. And you said uncharted territory. I feel like we've said that phrase many times this year when it involves politics. And Nicole, you're welcome to come back on the show anytime, okay? Because I feel like there's...
Well, we're not going to root for a corruption
story.
No,
I know, but
and then let's just talk about public safety.
Yes.
I want New Yorkers to know they're safe. The NYPD has resources.
Yes.
It is a distraction, but it's not affecting public safety.
And that's important to point out. All right, great to have both of you here tonight for the first primetime edition of PIX on Politics.